The following program is designed to demonstrate simple workouts that you can use to improve your health. Be sure to consult your physician before beginning any exercise program.
Stay tuned for Body and Spirit. Today we're going to talk about strength training for seniors. Hello, I'm Dick Nunez, Wellness Director at the Black Hills Health and Education Center. Welcome to Body and Spirit. Today we're going to talk about strength training for seniors. Oftentimes we think as we get older it's a good excuse not to do anything. And we look in the Bible and it says in Proverbs 20 verse 29 that the glory of a young man is his strength, but the beauty of an old man is his gray hair. So there's nothing wrong with getting older, it's nothing wrong with looking distinguished, but we don't have to get weak while we're doing it. We can keep a strong and healthy body. Many times people end up in nursing homes simply because they haven't taken care of themselves. They've let their body get weak and they can't do the things they'd like to do. We find that the average person over the age of 75, 2/3 of all women and 1/4 of all men can no longer lift 10 pounds. That means it's very difficult to carry their own groceries, they can't pick up grandchildren, and it becomes very frustrating because they can't take care of themselves anymore. But there's good news, because when people do work out on a regular basis, even if they're in a nursing home, they've found that they can end up walking out of the nursing home, not because they escape, but simply because now they can take care of themselves. So we're going to talk about what we can do to make sure we can stay strong through our years. So if we're ready, let's get started. Helping me today is Ted. Go ahead and put that over there, Ted, and we'll get started here. Okay, we're going to start by loosening up, and we're going to just swing the arms around like this. Now, Ted, you definitely fit into the beauty of an older man with that nice gray hair there.
Thank you.
I'm envious of that nice full head of hair, though. It doesn't say anything about men who start losing their hair. I don't know where we fall in.
Some turn loose,
Some turn loose, okay. Okay, let's go the other way now. Swing those around. This is just to loosen our bodies up and get them ready for what is yet to come. So we'll do 5 more here. And 2 more. Okay, good. Okay, now the title of this is Strength Training. Seniors can work out for strength, but we also want to take into consideration that oftentimes as we start to get a little older, we also may need to take a little pace in between the exercises. So we're going to try and do this in 2 ways. We're going to try and make it so we can get stronger, but also we want to make sure it's a safe exercise routine for you. So we'll be taking a little bit of time in between exercise to make sure we get plenty of air, get rest, let the heart slow down a little bit so we stay safe. Remember, strength training is not aerobic training. Aerobic sustains a heart rate, where strength training, your heart rate will go up, but then we need it to bring down a little bit too. So we're going to start by putting ourselves in a prayerful position here. Pray that we'll get through this without any problems, and also it's a good way to start working the chest. We're going to push real hard, then we're going to rotate our hands, and we're going to push out, and then we're going to pull back. And push out, and pull back. Now we're thinking about the chest as we're doing this. Okay, and go ahead and keep going. You go ahead and keep going. Now if I was to come to you, I shouldn't be able to pull your hands apart. There you go. Okay, pull back. Good. You want to stay like that the whole time. And we're focusing on the chest muscles here. Okay, and even when you get out to the very end, good, good. Ted's got good strong arms. I can tell he's been doing some stuff with his arms over the years. Okay, and we're going to keep going here. Let's do 10 more of those, Ted. Keeping that pressure on the whole time as we do this exercise. The harder we push, the more we get out of it. And we're going 5 more times. so many aspects of exercise, the reason why people have problems is simply because they have inactivity, and this will help you to start bringing some rejuvenation to your life. Okay, now let's bring them up here like this. We're going to cross over. I have a philosophy, Ted, and that's when we feel strong, we feel young. When we feel weak, we feel old. So if it's hard to get around, we feel like, oh, I'm getting so old. But if we bounce out of bed or jump off a chair, well, we don't want to jump off a chair, jump out of a chair, then we feel young. Okay, let's just do 2 more here. Okay, good. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to reach back here, Ted, and we're going to stretch those muscles out. Feel that chest stretch. Now we're going to bring it across, and you're going to roll the shoulder blades forward as much as you can. Give yourself a nice bear hug there. Okay, and back again. Feel that stretch. And cross. Pull the scapula apart. Okay, let's relax. All right, Ted, if you want to go get us the towels. During our program, we try to make it as simple as possible. Instead of getting a lot of fancy exercise equipment, we use towels. And what also we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sit down in our chairs here. We're going to take our towel, and you want to act like you want to tear it in 2. So we're pulling it apart. We're going to bring it up over the head, stretch back, and then pull it back forward again. So back, stretch, back down again. Good. The whole time we're pulling the towel hard. This is going to be working on our shoulders, our upper back, the muscles of the rotator cuff. We find that as people start to get older, they start to atrophy. So a typical male, by the time he's 70 years old, is going to have lost 40% of his muscle mass and 30% of his strength. And that's all due to inactivity. The body does age, obviously, but we can certainly slow down how fast we lose the muscle. Okay, just go ahead and set it down there now, Ted, and just relax for a moment. Get some nice deep breaths. In through the nose, expand the rib cage, out through the mouth. Breathing is an important part of overall physical fitness, getting good fresh air into the body. If you live in an area where you get lots of good clean air, that's great. If you don't, then you have to do the best you can. Breathing, learning how to expand that rib cage, very important. Okay? Let's put the arms up over the head. Now we're going to go from side to side. Once again, we're working the upper back area as we do this. A lot of people can be active all through their life doing carpentry or bricklaying or so forth. And when they're 20 years old, it may only take about 20% of their, or 50% of their strength to do the activity they're doing. And as they get older and they start to get weaker, by the time they're 60 years old, what used to take only 50% of their strength now takes 90% of their strength. And they wonder what happened. Well, the part of their strength that wasn't being used started atrophying. And the body will start to atrophy after 72 hours. So we want to keep ourselves active and physical to avoid that. And if you want to age yourself quickly, just lay around and do nothing for 3 weeks and your muscles will have aged about 20 years, and we don't want that.
No.
Okay, let's do 5 more. There's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. One more time. And 5. Good. Okay, put it down, relax. Again, we're going to get some nice deep breaths of air. Very important for your exercise program. You don't want to go too far, too fast, because it can have bad consequences. And we don't want anybody to put themselves at risk when they exercise. And one more time there. Good. Okay, now we're just going to let your towel relax there. We're going to put our arms out to the side. And we're going to draw little circles, and we'll see if we can avoid hitting ourselves here. kind of like a couple of beaters on a mixer here. Okay, now let's make those circles a little bit bigger. Now this is working the shoulders again. Okay, now let's make the circles smaller. And now we want to go bigger. For those at home, if you have to put your arms down, that's okay. Okay, let's go small. Okay, now we're going to reverse it and go the other direction. We're going to start small. And now we're going to make them bigger. And now small. And now big. Should be starting to feel that in your shoulders a little bit, okay?
Sure do.
Now let's just put the arms out straight and hold it. We're going to try and hold that for 30 seconds if we can. The one nice thing about this, Ted, is it'll feel better when we put our arms down.
For sure.
Some people say, well, it feels better after you stop hitting yourself with a hammer too, but the thing I've noticed, even after you stop, after hitting yourself with a hammer, it still hurts for a while.
Yeah.
This will, the pain will go away pretty quick on this one. We do start to feel a little lactic acid building up when we do this type of exercise. That's just a normal metabolic response that takes place within the body. And we're down. I am counting still, Ted. 5 seconds to go. Okay, and relax. Good. See, it feels good when you put them down, doesn't it?
Say.
Okay, let's just get a few nice breaths of air again. And breathe out. Nice deep breath. Again. Feels good to fill those lungs up. Good. Okay, now let's stretch the arm out. Bring it across. Want to feel the shoulders stretch. Okay, let's hold that for 5 more seconds. Okay, now switch it over. Remember, we want to pull just enough where we feel that muscle wanting to stop. It should be a comfortable feeling, but yet you also want to feel like you're taking it to a range where you're going to get some benefit. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take an arm up over the head and pull it like this. Okay, once again we want to feel it stretch in the shoulder area and down through the side. Okay, and switch. Bring it up over your head there, Ted.
Okay.
Okay, let me help you here. Back like this. Bring this arm back as well. There we go. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Go and relax. Now, stretching also is a way that we can keep the body moving and keep the blood circulating, but also let the heart rest a little bit. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our towel and we're going to turn it into an exercise tool. We're going to drape it over the other side. Go ahead and drape it the other way. Okay. Where you're going to take your towel. There you go.
Way. Okay.
And we're going to use that for resistance.
Okay.
Okay, and go ahead and bring it in between your legs here. And you want to bend forward enough that you can straighten your arm out. Then we're going to curl up. We're going to pull back down. Curl up and push down. So now we're using the towel as an instrument of exercise here. And we can give ourselves some good resistance with the towel. Now if you have light dumbbells or if you have an empty Clorox jug that you could fill with water or sand or something else, you can get some benefit there as well by doing some exercise with that. Okay, try to make sure the arm goes all the way straight when we do it. Good. By leaning forward a little bit, we can maximize that range of motion there. Okay, we're going to try and do 5 more here. And 2 more. Good. All right, let's switch over. And we're going to curl up. I find it interesting sometimes, Ted, when I talk to seniors about working out, they say, well, I don't want to get big and muscular. And I say, well, if you can, that'd be great. So for those who are seniors, I don't think that's going to be your #1 concern about getting too big and too muscular. Okay, and once again, we're providing the resistance here. We want to try and keep that hand straight up. That's why we have the towel draped over the thumb side, because the function of the bicep is to curl and to what's called supinate, which is actually to turn the wrist out. Okay, we're doing 5 more. And 2 more. Okay, good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sit back in our chair. We're going to bring the towel up over the head. And we're going to push up like this and back down. So we're using the resistance to bend the arm down and pushing back up. So we want to keep that elbow in one spot and make it so we can extend that arm all the way out. Good. You're looking good. So we make sure when we finish the exercise, our right arm wants to be all the way to full extension. This will work that tricep area. Okay, we're going to do 8 more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, good. 6, 2 more. 7, 8. Okay, just sit down. Go and rest a second. Let's get a few breaths of air. Even though we're in the midst of an exercise, that's okay. It's still all right to stop and relax before we switch over to the other side. Because the main thing is we want to get the benefit of the exercise we don't want to put ourselves in any risk. Okay? Let's put the arm up over. Let's do the other side now. And down and up. Okay, you're doing left side now.
Oh, sorry.
There you
The
go.
wrong way.
There you go. You might want to bring your hands a little bit closer on the towel. Okay, let me help you here a little bit. Okay, bring it down. Now up all the way. There we go. Good.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times on exercise programs, as you'll see on television, they have a lot of professional fitness people in there in the background. Well, here at 3abn, we're not doing that. We're taking people with real problems and real situations. So it helps you to see that even though we may not do everything perfect the first time, that's okay. It's all right to be working through situations here. And if we have to correct form, that's fine. It's the only way we learn is by trying and finding out how we do here. Okay, we're going to do 5 more times. Good. 3 more. And last one. Good. Okay, relax. Okay, now again, we're going to just get some air. Starting to perspire there a little bit. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, nice full breath and blow out. And again. And again. We're going to be going into legs here in just a moment, so we want to make sure the heart is relaxed a little bit. What people don't realize is when we do an exercise like this, it does stimulate the heart a lot. In fact, this will actually drive your heart rate up higher than aerobic exercise will, but for a short period of time. The way the body works is it demands oxygen to the muscles that are working. When you do that, and if it's a very intensive exercise, that process where pyruvic acid gets kind of technical goes into acetyl coenzyme A, which goes into the Krebs cycle. That pyruvic acid becomes another chemical called lactic acid, and that's what causes the burning effect in the muscles. And a lot of people think, well, that's really bad. Well, not so much. It's the body's way of saying, stop. But we also find that when people do exercise, to that point, it helps their muscles get stronger and they get better. And people oftentimes worry about the lactic acid, but as soon as you stop, the burning subsides, and the reason why is the lactic acid is carried out through the body and can actually come back again as glucose, which is our simplest form of sugar that our body uses for energy. So the body is so incredible. When people think we're a genetic accident, it really amazes me, because when you study physiology, we truly are fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay, let's stand up. In fact, first of all, why don't we put those towels back over there? We won't need those anymore. And we're going to get into leg training now. Leg training can take a big demand on the body because those legs are even larger muscle group, and they can even call for more lactic acid buildup before we actually stop. So we're not going to take it too far into that. But we're going to be doing a squatting motion here. And we have a chair back here for a couple of reasons. First of all, it gives us kind of a gauge to where we're going. And also, for any reason you might all of a sudden get weak and collapse, you won't land on the floor. You've got a chair to sit in.
Just in case.
Just in case. We're going to cross the arms. And what we're going to do is when we squat down, our first motion, we're going to push our hips back towards the chair. Okay? And then we're going to come back up. Now we want to try and keep our chest up, but we're sticking our hips out. Now Ted has had a couple of bad back fractures, so he's a senior, but he also has to be aware of his low back because he's got some problems down that L1 through L5 area. So we're doing squats here, but we're not squatting down very deeply because the further down we go, it might put a little more stress on his back. And for right now, we just want to get some good leg stimulation. Now, if you can go down further, that's fine. But if this is all you can do, just a few inches, it's still going to be better than not. Okay? So keep it going. Keep the chest up. Push the hips back. And you should get a good effect of training on your hips and your thighs. Feeling that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try and do 10 more. That feels all right on your back?
So far.
Good. Well, we want to keep it that way. We don't want all of a sudden for you to say, that hurts. If we squat properly, this is a really safe, effective exercise for the back as long as we don't go down too far. Okay, let's hold that now. And we're going to try and hold that for 30 seconds. Now, the beauty of this, Ted, is when 30 seconds are up, we get to sit down in the chair.
Good.
Okay, that sounds all right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's 10. Remember, we want to make sure you get a lot of breathing in. We'll take a nice little rest here when we sit back down. There's 20 and 10 more seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting in a chair never felt so good, did it? Okay. Once again, we want to get nice big breaths of air. Blow out. Fill those lungs. It's not too hard to encourage you to breathe after that exercise, is it?
For sure.
Okay. Now what we're going to do, Ted, is we're going to stretch out a little bit. We're going to just pull the knee up towards the chest. Should be a nice comfortable feel after what we've done there. It doesn't take a lot of strength training to make a good benefit. In fact, once upon a time, I used to spend 4 hours a day, 7 days a week training. Now I only spend 3 times a week for about 20 minutes. And you can get just as much benefit doing it in that amount of time. In fact, I actually feel like I get more benefit doing it 3 times a week for 20 minutes than I did 7 days a week for 4 hours. And when I was doing the 7 days a week for 4 hours, I was only 20 years old. And now in my mid-40s, you know, it's a whole different thing. Okay, relax. Now let's pull the leg up. And we're going to pull that up towards the chest and feel that stretch in the hips and the back of the leg. Nice steady pull. We're going to hold that for about 15 seconds. Got about 5 more seconds to go. Okay, good. Now switch to the other side. Nice steady pull. And let's hold that for about 5 more seconds now. Okay, that's good. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to do some abdominal training. And we'll do it from a seated position. And we're going to put our hands on our abdomen. What that'll do is it'll help us to put our mind where our belly is. Just by the mere fact of touch, we tend to be able to contract the muscles more effectively. So what we're going to do is we're going to blow out as much as we can. We're going to crunch forward. And then we're going to sit back, and we're going to lay back as we come and feel the abdominal wall stretch. Then blow out and crunch forward. Okay, let's keep it going. Now, for those who do not have back problem, they can easily do these crunches on the floor. It will make them more difficult, but since Ted has had the back problem, we can still get a good abdominal effect just from sitting in the chair here and crunching forward. The thing we want to think about is compressing the abdominal in. That's why we blow out when we come forward, because when we do that, we draw the abdominal in. Not too many people I know want to build their abdominal out, even though I see a lot of people in athletic clubs and gyms who are doing that because they put all sorts of weight on. They don't focus on the technique of the exercise, and they're actually expanding their abdominal wall out. It's a big, strong, muscular wall. It doesn't have a lot of range of motion, but just has stability purposes. And when we're doing this, we only have about a 4-inch range of motion as we're going forward. That's all the abdominal does. Okay, we're going to do 5 more here. And 2 more. Good. Okay, now we're going to sit towards the edge of the chair. We're going to turn to the side. And now turn. And turn. This exercise allows us to keep the flexibility of movement. And it works those external oblique area. People oftentimes are concerned about what they call the love handles, or the fatty deposits on the side. We cannot magically stimulate those, but by good regular exercise we get an overall effect, but certainly will help keep those muscles toned, strong, and keep our trunk flexible, which is very important. Okay, we're going to do about 3 more each way. There's 1, and 2, and 3. Good. Okay, Ted, we're all done. There's no reason to let ourselves go, simply because of the fact we're getting older. I remember one time Jack LaLanne was asked, do you feel like you've added years to your life? And he goes, I don't know, but I've added life to my years. All of us can do that. Muscles are still responsive even as we get older, and you'll be amazed at how strong you can get with a little bit of effort. But remember to do it for the right reason. The Bible says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.